So we're in Vegas, again, there seems to be a theme this season, to interview Dan Bilzerian. Every shoot we do a site check the day before. We're touring Dan's house, seeing where we're gonna shoot the next day.
And I'm told by his PR guy, like, you have either the movie theater or the poker table. Well, the movie theater was the obvious choice.
Seth takes great care to make sure everything looks perfect. Took him all morning.
We're waiting for Dan to come down. He comes down and immediately he's just like,
That's weird. I'm supposed to talk to you if you're there and I'm here.
He was like, why can't we just sit at that table facing each other with one camera?
What are we doing in here? Why are we shooting it this way? Why is my chair turned this way?
Basically, he's not doing it.
Yeah, so I had no idea or didn't give that it takes a long time to set these shoots up.
So, in fairness, it was going to be an uncomfortable position to sit in for a long interview to begin with, but sometimes, yes, aesthetic means more than comfort.
I told him if we're going to do a reset, it's going to take about 3 to 4 hours before we actually can shoot the interview. And he said,
what's the camera that's going to take 2 hours to set up? And can we just go without that?
I don't think I've ever seen our DP Seth quite so disgruntled, and believe me, that says a lot.
I like look at Seth's face and he's just like, really, dude? Are you serious?
easily the worst person I've ever met. And I work with Bensinger. Joking, Graham, I love you.
So another 3 hours later, we had a second set and we were finally ready to sit down to interview Dan Bilzerian.
Dan and Seth, total bros.
Dan's book is almost coming out right before we sit down to interview him, but Graham's already seen everything. And let me tell you, some of the things in this book I did not believe until we talked to the man himself. It just gets so crazy.
The guy's like, oh, I can't get this in my ass. And I'm like, use more lube. And then my buddy's like, oh, this hurts.
I mean, he cussed a lot.
I've had sex with 9 women in a day, and then I've also had sex 9 times in a day, but it wasn't with 9 different women, if that makes sense. Like I had a threesome, and I f***ed 6 girls out of the 9. So there were 6 right there, and then I had sex with 3 other girls that day. Maybe
you said
4.
a threesome.
Yeah, me and 9 girls.
How does it even work?
Not that well. I think a lot of people would think that would be super badass, but I don't think it really is.
He's then giving us a tour of his house, and he opens up 1 bedroom door, women.
Another guest room.
Another bedroom door.
The bedroom.
Hello. Hi. Multiple women.
Any room that you walk into, there could potentially be women.
And then there is this stack of boxes in the middle of the closet. And I'm like, oh, those look like, those DNA tests that you take. It's like a mouth swab, and then you send it in and it tells you, you're related to some famous person. No,
He has all sorts of STD tests, including ones for the most serious of issues.
You have a chlamydia test, a syphilis test.
Gotta check for the syphilis.
An HIV test.
I mean, it's all blood work, dude, the whole thing. Yeah.
All right, so how often are you doing these?
Probably like every 2 months.
Really?
Yeah. It's like fine-tuning a race car,
Certainly a unique way of living.
somehow Dan convinced Graham to do a trust fall.
The trust fall will freak you out the most. That's definitely... you just...
Really?
I'm telling you, it'll get your fucking heart rate going.
And my hands are almost starting to get sweaty thinking of this.
The thing is, though, before Graham does this trust fall, he's just been told a story about how a girl did it over the weekend and the bag wasn't properly inflated.
Girl jumped in the goddamn thing when it wasn't inflated and she had some problems.
Is she okay?
Yeah, she broke her leg, but she's fine now.
Doesn't necessarily seem like the best idea to fall backwards into this thing.
So you basically want to like look at me the whole time, so that way, you know, you don't like overgo. A little bit of a trip, I know, but
My hands are sweaty.
they are. It's an unnatural act. Arms out and Just make sure you look up at the thing.
Nonetheless, got to do it for the show.
You'll be all right, dude. Yeah. There you go.